Load up on guns, bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend. She's overboard, self-assured, and all I know are dirty words. Hello, 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 how low? Hello, 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 how low? Hello, 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 how low? Hello, hello, hello. I'm worse at what I do best, and for this gift I feel blessed. A little group has always been and always will until the end. Hello, 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 how low? Hello, 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 how low? Hello, hello, hello. With the lights out, it's just dangerous. Here we are now, entertain us. I'm just stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us, yeah.
Yes. Another day, another reason to make a remix of Smells Like Teen Spirit. Of course, I didn't make that remix. Somebody sent it to me, but it's not even a remix. That's just an orchestra performing the song in a brilliant fashion. So, bravo, long live Kurt Cobain. Or not, 27 years, whatever. Who's counting? Today I would like to take a look at a moment I discovered during the AIDS Skrillex video. And it was a moment that tickled me. And I find these moments often when you have somebody who messes up in real time and they reveal something they didn't really want to reveal, and they have to sort of abort mid-sentence, either just flat out stop talking or change what they're saying, because by accident they've let a little truth out. Now we call that a Freudian slip. And in this case I want to talk about the Bernie Sanders supporter AIDS Skrillex, who decided to steer the conversation away from foreign policy, the war in Iraq, stuff like that, and he wanted to bring it back to black people. Why? Well, he was in St. Louis, surrounded by black people, and so he needed to virtue signal and show the black people of this gathering how non-racist he was. But wouldn't you know it, it backfires. Watch this.
Okay, and just because you haven't seen something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Any other points against Trump? Anyone else want to debate me on Trump? This is too easy. Didn't think so. Didn't think so.
Let's bring it back to black people being killed by police.
Okay.
What has Trump said about that?
What about white people being killed by police?
Fuck off!
Okay. Fan-friggin-tastic. Did you catch that? So this Trump supporter basically instantly calls him out, and he's like, well, what about the white people shot by cops? Because why are we talking about black people exclusively? What's the point of that? Now, theoretically, when a guy brings up an issue, which is, in my mind, just a completely minor issue in the large picture, which is police shootings. Oh, they're sensational. Oh, it's uncomfortable to see what the cops actually have to do with. But keep in mind, can you name a single police officer by name who's been shot in the line of duty and killed? One. Not this year, not last year, all decade, your entire life. Name one police officer. Exactly. So tap the brakes and check yourself. So this guy makes a very cogent point, which is, what about the white people? Okay, sort of calling him out on his obvious virtue signaling and pandering and cucking to the black people in the crowd. And in response, the Trump supporter doesn't even get the sentence out before AIDS Skrillex goes, fuck off! Fuck you! And why? What? Why? Why would you say that? Imagine that. Is he saying fuck off because he doesn't think white people are being shot by cops? He doesn't care about it, obviously. He wants to talk about black people. Ask yourself why. Now here's a mind-destroying stat that might melt some brains on the regressive side of things. This year, there have been 238 people shot dead by police. Okay, 990 were shot fatally by cops last year, all of last year. Out of those numbers, from last year and this year, black people were killed 305 times. Okay, Hispanic, 206. Black, 305. White, to which he just said, fuck off. It's not even worth talking about. 603 times, 2015 and 16. Okay, twice as many as the blacks. So he basically just either totally doesn't get that or just doesn't give a single fuck about those 603 white people who were shot and killed. And what this shows you is that he doesn't care about cops shooting people. That's not the issue. If it was the issue, he'd be saying, what about cops shooting people? They shot 603 white people, for starters. That's not his issue. His issue is cops shooting black people. Why? Because he saw it on the media. Oh, it's in his head. For example, over that same length of time, if you talked about cops shooting people with toy guns, everybody's going to think Tamir Rice. Oh yeah, I saw that clip. Dozens of times. What you're not going to know is that it happened to white people 30 times in 2015 and 16, and only 11 times with blacks. Oh, but Devin, these numbers not per capita. Well, who cares? Theoretically, you're supposed to be mourning the death of human beings, yes? And if you want to solve the riddle of why cops engage black people more than white people, guess what? It's because they commit more crimes. Ta-da! But that's not even the Freudian slip. That's not even a slip at all. He intentionally said, fuck off, fuck white people. To which the Trump supporter says this.
That's not racist, though. Fuck off if a white guy's killed by a policeman. Only a black life matters.
We already know that white people, that's not a fucking issue.
And there it is. Did you hear it? Did you catch it? I did. What was said was this. The Trump supporter says, so it's only black lives that matter. He says, we already know that white people, and then he aborts. And do you know what he was planning on saying? The sentence he was trying to stammer through was, we already know that white lives matter. Priceless. Oh, priceless. And then he absolutely just short-circuited because he knows that that would have sounded unbelievably racist to say, we already know white lives matter. Because as you know, he's a fucking white male.
You're fucking a white male!
So?
You're a white man!
That's not racist, though. Fuck off if a white guy's killed by a policeman. Only a black life matters.
We already know that white people, that's not a fucking issue.
In fact, he started by saying, we already know that lives, he was going to say, we already know that lives of white people matter. And he's like, but what's on the table for debate is, do black lives matter? And I'm here to virtue signal to the world that I say they do. He doesn't realize that he's revealed his bias and his prejudice and what he actually feels inside that balding AIDS-riddled head of his. He holds racial bias against black people, he overcompensates for it in public, and he's flat out overtly racist towards white people, as evidenced by this very clip. And then he goes on to say this, further insult. Watch this.
Compared to the black people that are gunned down every single day by police.
Gunned down.
That's not an issue compared to the black people that are gunned down, right? It's only twice as big of an issue. It's twice as big, AIDS Skrillex. Millennial scum. Forget nuke Mecca. Nuke millennials.
Gunned down every single day by police.
Yes.
You don't think that's built up by the mainstream media at all?
It's
No,
built up
in
by
bodies, bro. Let me ask you a question.
Oh, and another great point by the Trump guy. Is it built up by the mainstream media? Of course it is. Of course it is. It's overhyped hysteria. And he says, no, it's bodies, man. It's bodies. Yeah, it's twice as many white bodies. And guess what? I'm not saying those guys are wrong for being dead. The vast majority of those are correct to have been shot and killed. Like Michael Brown, that guy in the town over from this city right here, who was shot and killed rightfully. Unfortunately, and yet rightfully. And it wasn't unfortunate that the cop did what he did to defend his life. It's unfortunate that Michael Brown went full Michael Brown.
Why aren't you guys in Chicago where black people are killing black people?
I like that he mentioned Chicago. Why aren't you in Chicago? First of all, they don't need to go to Chicago. Look at the crime stats of St. Louis. It is black on black crime all up in that place. And then he goes on an abortion rant. This is great. Listen to this.
Why aren't you guys outside of Planned Parenthood where black people are aborted by millions every year?
It is true. I think black women have more abortions per capita. But, I mean, clearly this guy's trying to slip a little pro-life propaganda in there. He really cares about black lives. Black fetuses matter to this guy. Yeah, that's what's going to help the black community. More single black mothers, please. Right. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. I think Freudian slips are interesting. I have a couple other up my sleeve that I want to unleash on you. In the meantime, let's get back to what matters, which is Smells Like Teen Spirit. Don't kid yourself. So get out your flannel shirt and keep it grunge. And please remember, fuck Islam, and I'll talk to you later.
And I forget just why I taste. Oh yeah, I guess it makes me smile. I find it hard, it's hard to find. Oh well, whatever, never mind. Hello, 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 how low? Hello, 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 with the lights out. It's our stages, here we are now. Entertain us, I'm stupid and contagious. Here we are now. Entertain us, I'm a liar, an albino, a mosquito. My libido, I deny. Load up on guns, bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend. Hello, 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 how low? Hello, 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 how low? Hello, hello.